Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and we have the Terror, the Tank, the Legend, Miltank today on our strategy guides. This Pokemon's pretty ridiculous once you can look at its stats. It has huge tankiness, has the ability to scale really well into its offensive power. It also has Milk Drink, which means you have Sustain, Scrappy, which means you get to hit Ghost types, and then a huge move pool to complement whatever you want. And this is where Miltank gets awesome because... Wait, we don't want Double Edge here, we want Body Slam. Go away. Body Slam is a move. I did not know about this. I just found this out. That Body Slam, while having a 30% chance to paralyze a target, if the opponent has used Minimize, Body Slam will never miss against that target, and it also doubles power. So here's your shutdown to evasion. Here's your shutdown to minimize strategies. And it's especially strong because of Scrappy. So now Scrappy, you can hit Ghost, and that means Body Slam's going to work against Drifblim and do a lot of damage to it and be very strong. So it's kind of like if you guys think that Evasion is this unstoppable, unknown force, pack Body Slam. If you're really that afraid of Minimize, if you're really that afraid, you know, Chansey, this works very well against Chansey. Body Slam's physical, and it's going to ruin Chansey's day. So if you're really afraid of Evasion and stuff, think about Body Slam. I didn't know about that, but... It's really awesome that's a thing. That if the opponent uses Minimize, the Body Slam never misses and doubles power. Like, that's a really awesome mechanic that Pokemon has been introducing. That I think Keen Eye and another ability have made it to where, like, if the opponent has used evasion boosting moves, that they still land. So look into those things. That evasion isn't as strong as it used to be. So let's go and dive just a little further into Miltank as well. So what I was thinking about is going with a really strong tank setup, a high defensive Pokemon that can also have some good special defense, and then huge amounts of hit points. If we look at this, almost 400 hit points, base of 95, huge stats right there, over 100 base stats and defenses, so defenses can easily hit 300, and then you have special defense. That, you know, that's a really good special defense right there. You're going to be able to endure a lot of hits, and with your Milk Drink, you're going to be okay. You can also decide to kind of, you know, sacrifice a little more of the special defense and make Miltank more of a pure defensive tank. This strategy works very well as well. It's pretty much, as I always say, what your team needs. If you just need a physical wall, Miltank can be the bro that can do that for you. Good hit points and all that. And then I was thinking, like, okay, how do we break this dude? The offensive stats, even if you, like, max it out, you're not going to get a lot out of it. Power Up Punch. So now, you know, you use Power Up Punch, Milk Drink, and now you're ready to really start hurting your opponent, because you're even after just 2 Power Up Punches, you can even put the rest in here like that. 2 Power Up Punches will push you over 400 attack if you have just a little investment into your attack, and then now you have huge hitting Body Slam with Stab that can paralyze your opponent, Rock Slide, and let's hop over to this Miltank set. Tons of options. These are just a couple. Brick Break if you want fighting, Earthquake if you want ground, Ice Punch if you want to kill dragons, Zen Headbutt if you want psychic coverage. That Miltank has a huge amount of moves. I believe it also has all the elemental punches, so Fire and Ice Punch, or Fire and Thunder Punch. Those are transfer only, so it won't be Kalos native, but that's how that Pokemon can work. It's crazy what you can get going with this Pokemon, and that's, yeah, there's a lot of potential here, and a lot of scary, scary things that it can do. As with this set, I also want to try something new. I'm calling it the 128x4, even though it's not officially that. But what I was thinking that what you can do for especially tanky Pokemon and bruiser type Pokemon, instead of going 252, 252, 4, I was thinking what if you do 128x4? So 4 stats, 128, you know, you really balance out the Pokemon pretty well. And actually this doesn't look bad. That if you compare the stats, you know, while you are losing a lot of boosts, that overall you're not sacrificing too much and you're gaining a lot of attack. So this really works with that Power Up Punch, that now every time you're Power Up Punching, you're getting more offensive power. And that for tanky Pokemon, this could work very well, because now you're going to have a little offensive bulk and a lot of defensive bulk, because by putting the points into defensive stats, you're doing huge favors to your Pokemon, because it makes them, it increases their survivability by a huge amount when you give them health and defense, even against some very strong offensive threats. So that's one thing to take into consideration. I want to see if this is actually like something that can work really well, because I haven't looked into other Pokemon that can utilize this, but creating a new format for EV spreads could be a really interesting thing, because 252, 252, that's very one-dimensional, and then with my other tank stats, it's all over the place. But with this, the Pokemon has high base hit points, so you don't have to worry about dumping everything to hit points because it already has good hit points. After that, its defenses are moderate, so you can get a lot of boost from giving it those defenses, and with the attack the way it is, you're just getting free stats. I was actually comparing the health to defense ratio, and this gives you, like, for the amount of damage you're increasing, it does only sacrifice a very small amount of your overall survivability, even though you are losing a lot of points in defense and hit points, but you're also gaining a lot of survivability and special defense. So it's just another way of trying to diversify Pokemon sets, and I see this potential 128x4 having a lot of potential. It could be really cool. So maybe even tweak it up a bit, because instead you can just evenly split it by 3. I don't know math, so let's do... We'll get there eventually. I believe it'd be 160 something. Close enough, but I mean, even then, if you're not worried about the offenses, you can just keep pushing all those things up, and you're really, by this point, you're only sacrificing a couple points. 287 defense compared to 330. Oh, wait, this needs the nature. So 338 compared to 315. You're only losing, 23 points, and then you're also gaining a lot of those points in special defense. Don't ignore this nature. Yeah, just ignore the nature. And I also hit full screen, so things just got wonky. But that's kind of what we're looking into, so there's a lot of potential here and a lot of cool things that you can do with Miltank. Huge coverage, just a tanky wall that can sustain and break down, minimize Pokemon, as well as set up and become a really strong threat that can hit ghost types. Win-win, just wins all over the board. Let's chalk it up as that. As for items, you can give it Life Orb if you want to hit harder. You can give it Leftovers if you want Sustain. Chesto Berry, because you can also do the Chesto Resto if you really feel like it. Lumberry, so you can get rid of Poison and Burn, which could really burn you down. And other than that, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoy the strategy. Miltank for the win. Have a nice day.